Welcome back to Double Down University. I'm back at you guys with another PrizePicks video, and today I will be covering MLB, and we will be headed to Minnesota for a huge Game 3 between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. I have 3 props for you guys. One of them was bumped, so we actually just got gifted a taco of one of the players that I want, 2 of the players that I really wanted to target. So I'll get into it in a second, but I'll just go through the 3 that I have for you guys. I have Jose Altuve over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I have Dean Kramer over 11 pitching outs, as well as the taco, which is Christian Javier and Sonny Gray over 6.5 strikeouts. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Dean Kramer. So Dean Kramer, this line is crazy to me because for one of 2 things. Baltimore already have long relievers, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to pitch their bullpen for 7 innings or 7+ innings, to be able to combat, Dean Kramer having a short stint. So they kind of want to get him to go as long as they can get him to go. And for us to be able to push on this line, he has to get 2 outs in the 4th inning, which is something that he's done 91% of his starts so far this year. So I really like that possibility as well. But I just think that this is a must-win for the Orioles. Their back's against the wall. They're down 2-0 in the series, so they have to do something. They have to come up with at least a quality start from Dean Kramer today. So I really like this line at 11. But granted, Texas is a tough team as their lineup is really good. They have Simeon. They have the likes of Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Jung, but I just think that this is the game where the Orioles show why they were the team that won 101 games this year. So I think they're going to be resilient. I think they're going to be able to, at least get one of these wins and not have a sweep in Texas. So I really like this prop for him. Moving on to Christian Javier, he was one of the guys I was targeting. They bumped his line from 4.5 to 5, so that is kind of, a bit too much for me, but I also believe that he can get 6 strikeouts in this matchup just based on the simple fact of Minnesota. They're not good against righties. They're one of the highest strikeout rate teams against right-handed pitchers, as well as Christian Javier has started to come into form of what he was toward the end of last year. And I'm a Phillies fan, so I know what he did his last postseason start, which I'm still scarred from, where he threw the no-hitter in Philadelphia, but I know the capability that he has as a pitcher, and for him to only get, let's say, 4.5 strikeouts and then mix that in with Sonny Gray to be able to get maybe 2 or 3 to get over this line of 6.5, I think this is a gift. I think this is a really good taco. But I expect a low-scoring game in this game because it's going to be cold. I think the temperature is like 55 degrees in Minnesota, so it's going to be pretty much a pitcher's duel for most of the game. Somebody will crack, a couple runs across the, couple runs in or whatnot, but I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be low-scoring. I think that both pitchers will battle each other, and they'll pitch a really good game. So I really like that 6.5 for both pitchers combined strikeouts. But also more notes on Christian Javier. So he struck out 6 batters in 5 innings in September, and then he also had another start where he struck out 11 and 8 batters in 6 innings. So you could also look towards his pitching outs, but that's a little risky because if you know Dusty Baker, like I know Dusty Baker is going to Dusty Baker, and you never know what he's thinking. You never know what he's going to do. And I just don't want you guys to get hooked on that 12.5 where he pitches, he gets 12 outs and then he pulls them right before he's able to get his last out, even though he's pitching well, because this is sort of a must-win game for Houston, because you don't want to go down 2-1 in Minnesota and have to play another game there and then in the next couple days or so. But also I think that Houston, they pitched a lot of their bullpen in game 2, so I think they want to kind of save their arms too in the pen for a possible game 4 matchup, depending on how, no matter how the game goes, whether they win or lose. So that could be a factor as well. But Sonny Gray, another thing on him, a note on him is that I have it written down here. He's completed 5 or more innings in 28 out of 31 regular season starts, which puts him on average for 5.8 innings per start, and then also to get 17.4 innings per start as well. So I think both of these guys should be able to go at least 4 to 5 innings to be able to give you that strikeout boost as well at 6.5. Now granted, if Javier pitches to his capabilities and he goes 5 or 6 innings, he could probably clear this by himself alone, just off of the fact of how dominant of a pitcher he is, and also if his fastball is working and he's locating it where he wants to locate it, because that basically is the key to his pitching arsenal. If he doesn't locate his fastball, everything else, they can kind of eliminate that and kind of go and hit his off-speed pitches and things of that nature, and he becomes susceptible to hits and things of that nature. So but another way you can hedge Javier in game is like I said, if you see him not locating early on and seeing him getting kind of wild and he's not locating his fastball, which I think when it's on pace and when he is right with his fastball, it is one of the most unhittable pitches from him, which I called it the invisible. But yeah, so if you look for that, and then you can also play like his pitches thrown over in like the second or third inning if you see he's not locating or anything like that, or just they're just constantly like battling him at the plate and like fouling off a bunch of pitches where he's in like a 2-2 count or 1-2 count and he's just about to get the strikeout, but he keep fouling it off. That could lead to pitches over as well, or pitches thrown over as well. So keep that in mind. All right, so Altuve. So with Altuve, I really like his hits, runs, and RBIs, just for the simple fact of the protection that he has behind him in the lineup with Yordan Alvarez. That's what I call him, because he always hitting a home run every time I watch the Astros play. You have protection from Bregman as well, and Tucker as well in the 3-hole. So he has protection all around in the lineup. McCormick is, I'm not a big fan of Chase McCormick at all. Jose Abreu is hit or miss, but he can hit home runs as well. I love this kid, Pena. He's a baller. He's a really good baseball player. So yeah, he has protection all throughout the lineup, but more importantly, out of his last, I have it written down here, excuse me, let me find it. So he is 3 for 8 with the solo home run in his last couple games. He has a hit in each of his last 2 games. He is 13 for 16 in his last 16 games dating back to the regular season. He is 12 for 36 off of Gray with a double versus him. Like I said, he has support. And then also the beauty of hits, runs, and RBI props in the playoffs is it works amazing for leadoff hitters, because they're basically going to see whoever they're going to bat at least 3 to 4 times in a game minimum, and then he is has an extra boost of being the road team as well. With that being said, like if they are down or even if they're up in the 9th inning, they still are guaranteed in at bat. So I really like Altuve in this spot. I think he has the ability to draw walks. He has the ability to get on base, whether it's, like I said, via a hit, and then he also has people to be able to knock him in, and then he also has potential to get a RBI single, if runners are on base, later on in the batting order. Like let's say Pena gets on and the next person gets out, or Pena hits a double and Maldonado gets out, which I think that Maldonado is probably going to get pinch hit for anyway at some point in the game. So if he gets out and then it comes back over to Altuve, I think he could be able to knock him in with the hit. Or if, let's say for instance Altuve just gets a single out of that and Pena doesn't score, they hold the runner where the single is not deep enough to score him. I think that Alvarez, Tucker, or Bregman to be able to knock him in as well. So I really like those 3 props, and I'll kind of go through them again. I have Jose Altuve over 1.5 runs, hits, and RBIs. Dean Kramer over 11 pitching outs, and as well as the taco of Christian Javier and Sonny Gray over 6.5 pitching strikeouts. So I appreciate you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.